3, 2.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. This is your girl, AuDii 3000, and this is episode 34.
Welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. This is your girl, AuDii 3000, and this is episode 34.
I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful to be doing another episode of this wonderful podcast that is my plan that I've had in my head for a very long time. And I just want to welcome all of you guys who are tuning in right now to the Ambition Hour podcast. And I also want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode, last week's episode, and any other episode that we have ever done before. You guys have no idea what just one view means to me. But even if I didn't have a view, or I always say this on the Ambition Hour podcast, like, I'm just so grateful to be doing this. This is like a dream come true. Let me spare you guys the dramatics. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to each and every single person that has ever been on the Ambition Hour podcast. We are very, very fortunate to have had a plethora, it's an FCAT word, guys, a plethora of guests that have come on the show, and I'm just so very grateful for that. And even though I love having guests on the show, it's your girl's solo episode. That means that it's just me. And I'm so excited because solo episodes are lightweight my favorite, even though I love all the guests that have come here. You guys are family. But solo episodes is just more like I get more space to, do dance moves if I got to. If I shake it to the right, shake it to the left. You know what I mean? Like, I could do that. But it honestly just means that I get to talk about whatever I want, and I have full control of everything. So I'm just even more excited. Hey. And I'm a Gemini, so I love talking about myself, so that's cool too. If this is your first time watching us, if you're your first time on WDW TV, or if you're listening to us on SoundCloud or Apple, I want you to do me the biggest favor of life, you guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment. Let me know where you're from. I'm from Miami. I was born in San Jose, California, raised in Dade. So I want to know where you're from. If this is your first time tuning in, if it's your 10th time, 34th time, hey, shout out to you if it's your 34th time tuning in. I want to know where you're from. I want to know where everybody who watches is from, who listens. Thank you so much. So like I said, I want to invite you to join the WDW fam by subscribing and also turning on the little bell, so that way you get the little notification, the little ding ding when we on. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Half, who just dropped a passion project of his, which is Kingdom Hearts Ventus's Dream. Shout out to that. Shout out to Half. Who's in the motherfucking building too. It dropped today, which is September 22nd. Shout out to that. It's WDW Saturday. So we have Ventus's Dream. Shout out to Cousin Milo. Shout out to Dookie, who was on episode 28 of the Ambition Hour podcast. Dookie was the engineer of the project. Cousin Milo is the producer. He's the one who came up with the beats and everything. He's also featured in the project, only feature in the project. And also, Spitz decided to get on one of my favorite beats, which is Feeling It by Jay-Z. He did his own version of it it's called Feeling It, right? Yep. Yeah, it's called Feeling It. So shout out to Spitz. Y'all make sure that y'all go spam that shit. And we also have Elevate by Laid Back So, which is another song that we dropped today. So we got 2 songs. We got a project. And we have Lady Killer, which is one of the songs off of Burgundy. Now, guys, remember, Burgundy came out on 420 weekend. So it came out on April 21st. Damn. So that's been April, May, June, July, August, September. It's been 5 months ago yesterday that project dropped out. And today we're dropping the video for Lady Killer. Dope. Awesome. Fucking shot it like with the Brickell City, like whole city behind us. I fucking felt like a superstar. Didn't know how to act. It was awesome. Really? It just really made me like see like, man, anything is possible. And that if somebody can afford to live in a place like this, so the fuck can I. So moving along, we are going to be talking about a lot of different things today. Obviously, a lot of this is, I guess I'm giving like a disclaimer. All of this is just, my experiences, my opinions, my everything. You know what I mean? The Ambition Hour podcast is a show that is very positive and always wants to shed positive light on the hip hop culture, on women empowerment, on, living your best life. So something that I definitely wanted to talk about is about keeping your cool, you guys. Now, I have a very strong personality. I was raised by a strong man and a strong woman. Shout out to my parents. So I have a very firm attitude, you know what I mean? But something that I've also learned from both of them is keeping your cool. Keeping your cool is very important. Why? Because when shit goes down and you go left, ain't nothing gonna go right. Damn, bars. But it's just the truth. Like it's just the reality. When and stuff happens. You know what I mean? Stuff happens, and then we want to lose our cool and we want to pop off, and we think that that's the best thing to do, and it's not, because a lot of the times that has to do with our image, the way that we pop off on somebody, even though if it's their first time seeing us, the 20th time seeing us, they see us do something crazy, they lose respect for us. Side note for Cardi B, girl. She done got invited to she got uninvited to the Diamond Ball. Damn, dog. You was Cinderella last year. Now you're not even there. But okay, that's beside the point. But that's what I'm saying. Like, like if she would have just kept her cool and probably have done that somewhere else, or had like a normal conversation. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Not too much, but you'll see. Just stay tuned. You got to stay tuned to know what's about to go down for the rest of the episode. Okay. So the reason why this sparked up a little like a topic in my mind to talk about it on the Ambition Hour podcast was because shout out to Mileto Beats. He has a series called Rap Reality 10. Episode 3 is featuring Spitz, and basically what Mileto does is he interviews different artists. He follows them. He kind of like goes on. He like takes the viewer onto a journey into these artists and local artists' lives, and I think that is so dope. Positive image for hip hop and rappers in Miami. Love it. Shout out to Mileto Beats. He had and Latinos, because he's a Latino, he's Colombian. So shout out to Latinos. Us Latinos in hip hop gotta stick together. Shout out to all my Latinos in the building. Oh, we're gonna talk about that too. I'm so excited, guys. This is the third time we're trying this, so I'm hyped. Okay, so. The reason, why I said, it was because he had somebody that I've worked with on the series. He had Cable, which is he did episode 6, and Cable was basically like one of the people that was in charge of an event that I hosted, and he had a lot of really nice things to say about myself and the Dub T Dub fam. Do we have a clip ready? Yeah. All right. So, but yeah. So I felt like it was important for you guys to see this, not to boast about me, but to see what he has to say, and then I'm gonna share my side of the story after that, and about how it's important to keep your cool at all times, and not lose your shit. Guys, I'm a Gemini too. I be wanting to pop the fuck off too, or I be wanting to leave, or I be and yeah, I be tired, like, you know what I mean, and at the end of the day, I still have to keep my cool.
Making sure we eat and get a piece of the cake. Shout out to the homie Spitz, man. Shout out to AuDii Ambition and them. Shout out to they whole, they team, man. It's a funny story about them. I had a show. Me and my homeboys, we had a show, whatever event, and it kind of didn't go how we planned because the promoters that we were dealing with had cross-promoted the event with another event. But when AuDii was hosting the event, but when she got there and we everything was unfolding and it was still kind of crumbling a little bit, the way she held her shit together, like, it made me kind of like admire her, like her whole grind and her hustle and what she's doing, and like trying to put artists in a better position to get out here and get their voice heard. So like that shit made me gain a whole different respect for her, like, and they whole team. And that's kind of how I started even following your page, like, just cause I'm a type of person, like, when I go to other cities and stuff, I like to network with genuine people. Hoping that this shit gon' pay off, God willing. Everything, man. Music, my life, my passion.
Cool, and he was just inspired and respected my grind because of that. And so let me tell you my side of that situation and the reason why it's important to keep your cool. And it's basically because what happened was that the event that I was hosting was cross-promoted with another event that was going on in the same place. So, I don't know that. I don't know that that's what's going on. And I think that he found out that day that that's what was going on, because I can, like, kind of see it in his face that, like, something was going down, but, like, he kind of didn't really want to tell me because it was just... It's not embarrassing, but it's just when you're hosting an event, you want to kind of make it seem like you got everything under control. And he did. He did an awesome job too, because I didn't even know that that's what was going on. And so, okay, awesome that he said something nice. Awesome that, he said that he respects me. Awesome. Like, all of those things are awesome. For me, hearing that was meant so much to me, because it means that the mission that I have in my mind and the image that I want to portray, which is me, like, that's genuinely how I am. Like, I didn't act that way so that one day he can talk about me on like a show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely am just like that, because you have to keep your cool. At that event, we got there at 2 o'clock. Well, we got there at 3 o'clock. It's supposed to start at 2, 3. We were a little late. Whatever. It was like, when we get there, like, it's not even set up. People aren't even there. A sound check hasn't even happened. It was crazy. I didn't understand what was going on. There was a time where I remember being in the car with Spitz and just kind of like not really wanting to go back into the event. And I remember in my mind just going back and forth like, bro, what if I just leave? But these people got to pay me, because I came all the way over here and they ain't going to pay me. Like, it's not my fault that they're not on time, that they're not organized. Like, it's not my fault. Like, I remember that just keep going on in my mind. And I never expressed that with Spitz. Hav was in LA at that time, so he wasn't there for this experience, but Spitz was. Thankfully, my other brother was there, because the girl would have been alone. And I'm not 100% sure if the experience would have been the same without either one of them. I'm grateful he was there. And then Spitz brought this to my attention yesterday, was the whole thing of like, we gotta go back in there. Like, I remember being like, I committed to this. I don't care if this shit finishes at 1 o'clock in the morning. I have to make sure that I fall through with what it is that I said that I was going to do, and what I was basically hired to do, because it was a paying job. And I kept my cool. So that to me, just like, it just speaks so much to me. And then I remember thinking like, man, is this the right decision to do? Because sometimes when we do things, we don't know if they're the right thing to do or not until later. Like, now I completely see that it was a really good decision to make, because it brought a positive awareness to the WTW fam, and I'm just so very grateful for that. And so yeah, so that's something that's very important. I remember at that event too, like, I got like kind of like snubbed, or like even like I got called a white girl. I was like, I'm not white. I remember, like, by one of the artists that was performing, I started dancing or something. I was on stage, so I didn't know how to act. I was like, let's make the best out of this. And he basically, like, was just like, you know how they like hype you up or whatever. And he was just like, go white girl, shake. And I'm like, I don't want to dance no more because you're over here calling me white. I'm a Latina. Which brings me to my next subject, which is Latinas in hip hop. Now, shout out to all the Latinas that are in hip hop, that do this hip hop thing, that are not afraid to talk about hip hop artists, that are not afraid to go ahead and start their own podcast about hip hop, that are a part of the culture and however they are. Shout out to you ladies, and thank you for paving the way. I am so grateful for that, because if it wasn't for you guys, honestly, I wouldn't be as comfortable doing what it is that I'm doing. The only reason why I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing is because I know another Latina has done it. Now, I am an American. I was born in America, but my parents are both Nicaraguenses. Now, I talked a little bit about this on TGIM, the second episode of TGIM. Shout out to everybody who's watched that. About, being an American, being an American born with Nicaraguense parents, okay? Oh my God, speaking of Nicaraguense, this is a really quick side note. I was watching Drink Champs episode with Ja Rule earlier before we did this episode, and this man, Nori, he said, Nicaragua. He said, I smoked them Nicaragua tobaccos. And I'm like, no, this man did not just say that. Mind you, I've been hearing it being pronounced that way my entire life. The funniest thing ever. But okay, so back to being a Latina in hip hop. Now, being a Latina in hip hop is tough. Why? Because sometimes some people, if they do not know you, they think she's just trying to be black. or she's just trying to like fit in because it's cool. Guys, I want to make it very clear that yes, I am a Latina. Yes, my parents are both Nicaraguense. But at the end of the day, hip hop raised me. Like I've been listening to hip hop for as long as I can remember. So hip hop has played a very, very, very big role in my life and the way that I think, even because of that's what I've been listening to my whole life. Like that's the most consistent music genre in my life. That and also R&B. But when it comes to being in the business, there's not that many of us. There's some people like on Instagram that I do see, and shout out to all of you that are do it. But there's not that many of us, and I feel like the reason why is because hip hop has been kind of like, there's been like a blanket. This isn't a blanket. This is more like a little genie. But there's been like more like a blanket of it's just like the hip hop industry is just for African Americans. And that's not necessarily the case because Latinos play a very big part in the consumerism of what is hip hop. You know what I mean? Yes, African Americans are the ones making it. And now we have our artists we have more and more artists. Shout out to Fat Joe and like all the ones that came before Fat Joe and like Big Pun and all of these artists that have done it before. But now more and more there's more Latin artists that are coming out and are doing English rapping, which I think is awesome because I think it was an episode with DJ EFN that he was talking about how the reason why trap Latino started or Spanish trap started was because there was really no, I guess, is it like an opening? Like there was really no opening for Latino rappers.
They didn't think they could market that.
Yeah, they didn't think like, how do we market a Latino in a predominantly African American, genre? So they couldn't really pinpoint like what do we do with this person? You know what I mean? And then here I come along. And when I was in high school, I was the only Latina in the hip hop dance team. So shout out to that. So I've been, it's been a consistent thing that I've been going through. Also, when I go to certain events like at Miami Live or the Villa, like the happy hour, the open mic happy hour, or really just any event, there is a time, most of the time, that I am the only Latina there that not just in the crowd, but that is a part of the hip hop industry. Now, I love this. I love it because number one, like, I love hip hop, so I don't care if I'm the only Latina. I don't care that, that I'm the only Latina and that the other people are always just like, what is this Spanish chick doing here? By the way, guys, I know that when you say Spanish person or like Spanish man, Spanish woman, that you are meaning Hispanic or Latino, but Spanish is a language. So we go, I learned that this week. Shout out to Danielle Alvarez, who is the owner of the Bonita Project, who she wrote an essay for this magazine. I'm not going to say the name because I don't remember it right now, but she did write an awesome, I think it's like pop culture or something. Tell me if I'm wrong, sorry. And it was just so awesome. She articulated herself so very well and talking about being the token Latina and everything, because usually growing up, she was usually the only Latina in a group. That happened to me a lot of the times too. In high school, my whole life, pretty much, at least living in Miami, my last name starts with an L, so I get put in next, like the alphabetical seating chart or whatever. I would always get put next, get to sit next to, get it out, Claudia. I would always sit around, the black people. I would always sit around the people with the last name like Jackson and Johnson and Lewis. One of my best friends, his last name was Lewis. Johnson, Harris. It's a hello, like. Always. So I was always around that. A lot of the reason why I know hip hop and am so well into it was because I also wasn't afraid to be the only Latina in a predominantly black group. Why? Because it didn't matter. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is good times, laughing, listening to hip hop and talking about like, real life shit. And so that's just that has just always been a constant in my life. And so it's just funny because I'm very accepted, and something that have said, which I agree with so much, is you said this a couple of, like, you said this maybe like 2 weeks ago. It was about that for Latinos, you're black. I'm too black to be Latina. And no, wait, is that how it was? No, Latins think I'm too white. Or no, Latins think I'm black. Black people think I'm white. And Americans think I'm Hispanic. That's what it is. Damn, I just butchered that whole shit. But I mean, I hope you guys get my point. It's basically like in the African American community, I'm white. In the Hispanic community, I'm black because I like hip hop. And in the in the white community, I am a Spanish person. You know what I mean? And I feel like,
stay woke.
Yeah, pretty much, like, stay woke. And it's just, and that's just what happens from being in hip hop and being a Latina. Like, people think that you're trying to be black. People think that you're just trying to fit in. I'm not trying to fit in. Like, I could really care less. But I am very accepted into this culture. And it's not because, I'm trying to pretend to be somebody, or because, I twerk my ass off when I see people, or when I hear certain music. Like, it's not because of that. It's because I treat these people like they're people. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who or where we come from. It's about who we're with and how we are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if your mom doesn't have a job. I don't care if I don't know why I said, like, if your mom doesn't have a job, like, but I'm just trying to express myself in a way that is just like, I do not care. For me, being a Latina and being in hip hop just means so much to me, because it's so sad that maybe some Latinas are afraid to speak their mind on certain things like this, because they feel like, I can't do that because I'm not X, Y, and Z. I'm not white, or I'm not black. And honestly, Latinas in hip hop, there should be a lot more of us to be representing the culture, because we love the culture. We love hip hop. There's women, some of your favorite rappers are married to a Latina. Some of your favorite rappers are Latin, and they haven't said it, or they say it later on in their career. But you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I'm just very grateful about that. And I've always done this with a guest, but I'm going to do it today by my damn self, because I always think that this is a really cool game. So we're going to do a 21 questions, AuDii, the AuDii edition, because I mean, I'm a Latina in hip hop, so I need you guys to know, like, what I'm talking about. Like, you need to know my answer. So the first question is, where was hip hop born? The Bronx. What song would you tell someone to listen to if they've never heard hip hop before? I Used to Love Her by Common. Favorite hip hop movie? Belly. Favorite rapper turned actor? Common. Common and Ice Cube. I'm between both of them. I just love Common. What came first, the DJ or the MC? We all know it's a DJ. Favorite hip hop / R&B song, I would say is damn. Give a new one. A new song, a new hip hop love song. But oh, I do. Okay, we'll do that song. Which is "Crew Love" by Gold Link and Brent Fayez. Favorite hip hop record label? It's The Rock. It's The Rock in the building. Shout out to Hove. Favorite hip hop love song is "Love You Better" by LL Cool J. This is for my number one. Bro, I was in the car the other day listening to that song, and I was rapping word for word. I felt like I was a rapper. I was like, oh shit, I'm reciting bar per bar. Oh damn. But it's because those bars are like awesome. Like, it's so beautiful. I just got out of, okay. So favorite region of the US that had an impact in hip hop. This is very biased because I am from the West Coast. But I would say, without taking them, I would say Atlanta. because of where they took hip hop when I was falling in love with hip hop. So I really like that, and I learned a lot. I fell in love with Atlanta because of hip hop. So shout out to that. Are you mad because I'm asking you 21 questions? I'm not mad because I'm asking them my damn self. First hip hop song you played. Okay, so I had this for DJ EFN. It was the first song that you played for your daughter. Now, if it were to come to me and I had to play a song for one of my kids, my first song that I would play would be Juicy by Biggie. Have I ever wanted to break dance? Yes. Are you kidding me? I still try to break dance, even though I might break a fucking hip trying to do that shit. Have I ever freestyled before? I have, more than once, and you'll never get to hear it. Tupac or Biggie? Biggie. Favorite hip hop movie soundtrack? American Gangster and Black Panther. Hip hop then or hip hop now? Hip hop then. Shout out to Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. I've been listening to them. Do you think that hip hop is more about the art or popularity? It's definitely about the popularity. Are you a fan of beef songs? I am not, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about that after. Does not writing your own songs make you less of a rapper? That's a tough question because I love some rappers that do not write their own shit. So I would say no. Hip hop to me is every fucking thing. First hip hop album you bought. That I bought. What first hip hop album did I buy? I really don't remember.
It's like a genre?
Cause around the time that that I was like really falling in love with like listening to hip hop and shit, it was a lot of bootlegs, so that doesn't count.
Exactly.
That
New York mix.
Like that isn't like yeah, like that doesn't count, right? And then and also that was around the time where like a lot of different like outlets were coming out with like kind of like mixtapes, and you could just like buy a whole album, and it was like now, like I don't know if you guys remember those now, like I think they're like probably like in 100 now, but it was like those now, and then they would have some for like that, you know, some hip hop companies would do or whatnot, and then I honestly can't remember, but I remember being super fucking excited buying the Common album, which was B. I remember like really excited about buying that. I like really fell for Common. Shout out to Common. He's in a new movie with my girl Gina Rodriguez called Smallfoot. It's an animated movie. Bruh. That's why I had to put him as my favorite rapper turned actor, because bruh, he's in this movie right now that I think is so awesome. And okay, so are you a fan of beef songs? So I did have somebody who requested for me to talk about the Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem diss tracks, and we did have like yeah, I didn't really. We talked about them, but I'm not a really big fan of beef songs, so it's kind of really hard for me to talk about them and put energy into them because I don't really care for them. Shout out to him for requesting that topic. I've never had anybody request anything, so that meant the world to me. But I am not a big fan of rap beef, so I don't really have anything that you would probably care about. So shout out to the 21 questions by your girl AuDii 3000. I'm so excited. That's something that I want to keep doing, and I had to do it because I wanted to show you guys, that I'm a Latina. I'm the Spanish chick, and I know my shit. Did we put up the pictures, right? For like okay, and so I wanted to clear something up. I didn't just want to show pictures of me with black people, you guys. I wanted to show that those are the events that I go to and I am the only Latina that is a part of the crew, and it's okay. I love it. I love everybody. If there were more Latinas, I would love y'all too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shout out Andres and Jans, who are in the Lick Read podcast. They're also Latina women who are on the podcast. I don't really know that many other ones, so shout out to those two queens. So something that I definitely have been feeling lately, especially since I'm going to be pushing that 30, is adulting, you guys. Adulting is real out in these streets. I think it's worse than gangbangers, because I feel like adulting has been taking a toll on not just myself, but people that I know. Of course, what sparked this topic to be talked about was I saw this meme that says being an adult is having that "hay comida en la casa" conversation with yourself. And when I tell you that conversation happens at least 7 times a week, it's real, because I would so much rather go through a drive-through and get some food and not have to worry about that. But then you gotta remember, hay casa, hay comida en la casa. Now, for those of you who do not know what that means, hay comida en la casa is there is food at the house. Got food at the crib, dog. We can't be getting no McDonald's. We can't. And that's growing up, that's what my mom would tell us. And I'm sure other moms too, like other Latina moms, would tell, like, we ain't going there. Like, we got food at the house. You know what I mean? And that's very real when you start having the conversation with yourself. I also want to shed light on the fact that our early 20s are meant for, you know, racking it up, you know, living large with your credit cards, because motherfuckers out here giving you like $1,000 credits and shit. You over here balling, banking. I know a lot of my debt is due to the fact that I wanted to go to every single concert and get the best seats ever. But, you know, no one's perfect. But as now that I am into my adulting stages, I guess you can say, I'm realizing that I have to kind of fix all of those mistakes that I was making, at least financially, when I was younger as an adult. And so that's a really big part that I feel that a lot of people maybe don't necessarily talk about. I know I was scared to talk about my debt. Like, I swore that if I were just to keep it quiet, it would just like go away. That shit don't go away. And your credit score does not forget just because you forget. Okay? So I want to express this and share this with you guys, is that it is okay if you don't have it all together right now. I am 29 years old, and I know that there's some people that watch this show that are in my age range that are maybe going through the same thing, or they already have their life in track in a certain way that, you know, they thought that was good, but they're dealing with other things as well. Like I said earlier, I can only speak from my experiences, and with my experiences, it's you're not married yet, you don't have kids yet, you don't even have a boyfriend yet. You're working at this, and like, there's so many things are going in my mind. And then it's just kind of like, man, if only I really, really, truly paid attention to this and knew this when I was younger and listened to my mom, because my mom would tell me, I don't know how many times, like, girl, save money. Obviously it's in Spanish, but I always talk, like, when I'm talking about my mom, sometimes, like, I always do a gangsta voice in English. But that's just basically what it is. Just this, like, you know, having to save money and paying off your debt. And, you know, for some of us, it even means going back to school, because school was something that was important to us, but we were too young to understand that school and education is important. A lot of the times people ask me if I'm going to go back to school, and I honestly don't think that I will, but I do give a lot of props to a lot of people that are over the age of 25 and they decide that they want to go back to school and get their fucking bachelor's. Like, go you, shout out to you. But yeah, adulting is very real, and I want you to go ahead and please drop a comment below and let me know when you knew that you were going through the adulting stage, or what do you consider adulting. Just drop comments in the bottom. I just want to know how everybody feels about that. And listen, just because there are people around you that have a certain standard of where you should be in your life, that does not mean that you have to be there. We never know what is really going to happen in our lives until it happens. And I swore that I was, by the age of 25, going to already be married, have my kids by 28. I thought that right now, at this age, 10 years ago, I thought that I was going to be married, that I was going to have already my kids, that I was going to have the career that I wanted, and that's not what happened, and it's okay. And my whole thing is that there really is no rule onto where you have to accomplish certain things in your life, so don't rush it. Just, you know what? Since we are doing the discussion of, like, positivity and, like, women empowerment, which we will be talking about later on today. Later on in the episode, I wanted to share something with you guys real quick that I posted on my story. Shout out to everybody who follows me on Instagram. My Instagram is AuDii Ambition, AuDiambition. Shout out to all of you guys who follow me, who answered to the question of the week. Like I said, we do not have a question of the week this week, but we have one next week. And so the quote that I saw this morning was, "The pain of marrying the wrong person is worse than your present fear of not getting married before 30. Take note of this. This is both for men and women. Don't let don't let anybody, tell you that you can't, that you're supposed to be at a certain time in your life. Okay? So, yeah. And then, okay. Sorry, guys. I just got a message right now, and I'm trying to respond to it. Let me just go ahead and, I'm over here. Oh, I wanted to talk real quick about this new episode of Insecure that just happened. Shout out to that episode. The episode is awesome. I fucking love that show. Insecure, you have my heart forever and ever. And okay, which brings me into the conversation of women empowerment. As you know, Insecure is about women. Insecure is about 4 women. Well, it's about 2 women. They're kind of learning how to deal with what it is that they're doing in their life and how everything is going. And just, the different things that go on in your life. And so the importance of women empowerment is something that I have to talk about. It is my duty as a woman to talk about the importance of women empowerment, which is why the episode's name is Women in Power. Because as women in power, or as women in period, we need to empower one another. Now, as some of you, maybe many of you know, the Cardi B and Nicki situation has been going on for a very long time. I have yet to see what Queen Latifah said. I really just saw that she had something to say about it, and I would have loved to have heard that before doing this. But either way, this Nicki and Cardi situation, I did post it on the Ambition Hour podcast page. Shout out to everybody who follows the Ambition Hour podcast page. I posted the picture of Cardi and Nicki, and then the picture says what should be happening. Now, do I think that that's what should be happening? I would prefer that to happen as opposed to what's really going on. And it's 2 women going against each other, kind of like the survival of the fittest, kind of like popping off on each other, kind of like not really empowering one another. And I feel like that's so sad. And I feel like that shouldn't really be happening, because my job as a woman is to empower the next woman, is to show the next woman, like, girl, you are a fucking queen. Which brings me to something that I was very upset about, that I got to talk to Spitz about earlier. So I got out the angriness. So I'm not going to talk in a very angry tone. But the whole thing about women is that we were put on this earth because God decided that man needed a woman. And I don't mean he needed a woman as in like to fucking cook for him and to wash his clothes and wash the dishes and shit. I mean like to be the support system that he needed, to be the rib, to be the strength. You know what I mean? And men already bring women down enough. Unfortunately, a lot of it comes from rap. Sometimes I question how some of these rappers are talking about women and the way that they talk about, and kind of like what it does for the culture, which I don't agree with. But when it comes to women empowerment, that's just something that's super important, because you want to make sure that you're empowering the person next to you, and you're empowering queens all around. Like, there are so many women out there that feel intimidated by another woman and feel like they aren't that they aren't good enough. And that's what brings me to this point. The video that I saw was a man saying that a woman who has a plastic body cannot be a queen, and that because we're talking about the video that I saw was like Nicki, Amber, and Black China. Now, these women, yes, their bodies are fake, but that does not mean, come on in, girl. That does not mean that because their bodies are fake, they are not queens. They're still queens at the end of the day. It doesn't matter that we got Mighty Sunshine in the building. Just because they have fake bodies, it doesn't mean that they aren't queens, or that they're less of a woman because they don't have natural body parts. Something else that I was talking to Spitz about was that the difference between a woman that goes to the gym and one that goes to a surgeon is one goes to the gym to get the body that they want, and the other one goes to the surgeon to get the body that they want. And the end result, they're both going for the same reason. Because I know when I was going to the gym, which I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later, when I go to the gym, I know it's because I want to get my booty fatter, my stomach flatter. You know what I mean? And then that's what women go to the gym. That's why they go to the surgeon as well. So the end result is the same. It's just that women are getting it differently. And I don't think that should mean that she's not a queen or that she can't call herself a queen, because we're all queens. Ladies, listen, you are a queen, okay? If a man tells you something different, tell him to go fuck himself, okay? And as something that I did want to share, do we put the picture from the Rugrats? I can't even talk right now. Okay, so it's basically if you guys watch the Rugrats, for all my Nandy's baby out there, it's Angelica's mom, and Angelica's mom was a boss, and it's the thing is well, I've leveraged a hostile takeover while reorganizing subordinated debt. I suppose I can change a tire. So that, when I saw that, I thought that that is something that a lot more people need to see, because this woman, I couldn't even barely pronounce the shit that she said that she could do, and then she said that she can change a tire at the same time. And I feel like that was something that they were teaching us as kids. Like, this woman, she can do it all. She can do everything. And that's something that as a woman now, because I was a little girl when I was watching this show, as a woman now, going back and thinking about that, it was so empowering to see a woman in power. And so that's why with the whole Nicki and Cardi situation, I just feel like they should just empower each other. My cousin said that, he's like, they don't gotta be friends. They just need to mind their damn business. And that's also true. Because the reason why they're even in the argument in the first place is because they're in each other's business. You know what I mean? Instead of, if I don't like a woman, trust me, there's a lot that I don't like. Just like how there's a lot of men that I don't like. But I'm not going to trash talk them, or I'm not going to, make their career less than what it is. Because I'm not here for that. I'm here to empower people and empower women and empower men. Make me women. Shout out to my girls. but it's just so important. And I know that my friends, they can basically what? Stop touching it? Oh, my bad. I like touching it. I feel like. But they can tell you that I'm very, when I see a girl and she's wearing cute shoes, I'll be like, dang girl, I like your shoes. Why? Because because I would like for somebody to tell me the same thing. And why not compliment a girl? Do you know how much time women really put into picking out their outfits and what they're gonna wear to go out, their makeup, their this, everything. Listen, ladies, I love you guys. And whatever it is that you guys need, or whatever it is that you guys want to do in your life, you can do it. And then I'll be here to support you with whatever it is that you want to do. And we'll always be shedding positive light to you, because I feel that we all deserve that. And if I can be the one who is going to make sure that women empowerment keeps going on and on forever, and keep this movement on the Ambition Hour podcast, then I'll be more than happy to do that. Okay, so with women empowerment and working out, I'm so nervous right now because I'm about to announce something. Should we announce it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to announce it. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm getting okay. Okay, so the Ambition Hour podcast is proud to announce the Ambition Hour Challenge. So the Ambition Hour Challenge is I don't want to hit the table. It's a fitness challenge, you guys. Oh my God. I have been dying to do a fitness challenge that has to do with the Ambition Hour podcast. And it's so crazy that Mari is here.
Talk about throwback.
Yeah, it's crazy that Mari is here for the announcement of this, because Mari Sunshine is one of my closest friends, and we would go to the gym when I was healthy as far as my hip. We go to the gym all the time, and so now that I'm better, I'm like, what better way to celebrate than to start a challenge? And the challenge starts October 1st, and it's going to be going from October 1st to January 5th. Yeah, so it's going to be a 3 month. It's going to take us right into the new year. It's going to be basically a 90-day plan of fitness. I'm really excited. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know if you guys, can we bring it back up so that way we can see it and go through it? It's up? All right, cool. So the requirements, or I guess you can say the steps to join the challenge is, number 1, you have to follow at my page, AuDii Ambition. You have to also follow the Ambition Hour podcast, and you also have to be subscribed to the YouTube channel, which is WTW TV. Okay, now if you already do all 3, all you have to do is just screenshot the proof and email it. And if you're doing that now recently, all you have to do is just screenshot it. You just have to screenshot proof of those 3 things to join the challenge. And that's it. That's all you got to do to join the challenge. It's free. It's going to be coming with home workouts, since right now that's the only thing that I can do. Hopefully, my plan is by November, mid-November, December, I'm going to be back in the gym. So that means that you guys will be getting gym workouts as well. It'll be coming. Yay. My gym membership, I think, kicks back up in October because I had it on freeze for a second. On freeze. And it also comes with a basic meal plan. Very, very basic. And the accountability and support. I'm not a nutrition coach, or I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that. So I can't give like a full meal plan. Also accountability and support, and a grand prize for the best results that will be announced on January 5th, which is the Ambition Hours 1-year anniversary special. There will be further instructions and perks will be emailed once you join. So once you join, you'll get to find out more instructions that you would need to do. You'll also be getting the rest of the stuff that you'll be getting. And also the grand prize winner gets announced on the 1-year anniversary special of the Ambition Hour podcast. And you also get a grand prize. And the grand prize that I have in store, you guys, is insane. I'm so excited. I can't wait to announce that because I've been thinking about it, and me and have been like kind of brainstorming on what it could be. So you never know what it could be. So you might as well join because you could win. The best results win. So I'm really excited about that. That was awesome. I've been dying to do a challenge for the Ambition Hour podcast. For those of you that don't know, I was super heavy into fitness, and that was what I was doing before I was doing the podcast. God decided to take my life into a different direction, and I'm very grateful for that. And so shout out to everybody who tuned in. This is episode 34. I'm so grateful. Before we close this episode out, I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed. Last week, I think we're over 270. We're about to be at 280 subscribers. So thank you to all of you guys. And shout out to the projects that dropped today, which is Kingdom Hearts Ventus's Dream, Feeling It by Spitz, Elevated by Laid Back Sosa. You can hear those on on SoundCloud, which is WTW Radio. Also, the video for Lady Killer is dropping today, right? Is dropping today. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much for tuning into another WTW Saturday. This is your girl, AuDii 3000. And I'm out.